Okay. There we go. Okay. Hi, everybody. My name's Liz Fenton, and I'm here with Lisa Steinke, who is my best friend and co-author of 7 novels. Our 7th novel is coming out this July 14th, this ginormous poster behind both of us, so you can't miss it. How to Save a Life. It's a dark, heart-pounding love story. And I don't want to take away Julie's thunder with Warwicks, but I'll pass it to her, and she can tell you some special things that you can do with Warwicks with How to Save a Life.
Perfect. Yep, we do How to Save a Life. Hi, everybody. And I know we have a lot of people that follow us and come into this room each week. So you ladies that are here and hearing me talk over and over again, sorry about that, but I have to give the same spiel in case there's somebody out there that doesn't know. So Warwicks is located in La Jolla in San Diego, California. We are now currently open for business, so you can come in and browse the store. And basically any way that you can get a book, Warwicks can get it to you. You could order online, you can call us, you can come into the store. I'm going to be putting onto the chat how to order Liz and Lisa's book, and we've got a special thing with their book that if you order from us, you can actually get it personalized. I read it over the weekend. It's a great page turner. So if anybody's looking for a good one, it is a good one. So, but we're here tonight because Meg is here. It is debut day. It is, it's not debut day. It's pub day. Sorry about that. Not a debut author. Lots of books that she's done. So Meg's here tonight with us with 2 Truths and a Lie on pub day. We're so excited that she's here with us on pub day. I'll put her book in the link as well so you guys can order it. So with that, thank you everybody, and off to a great conversation.
Great. So thank you, Julie. And again, as she mentioned, she'll put the links for Meg's book in there if you guys want to go ahead and purchase from Warwicks. So we're so excited to have Meg today, especially on your pub day. Let me tell you a little bit about her. She is the author of 6 books: The Arrivals, So Far Away, The Captain's Daughter, The Islanders, 2 Truths and a Lie, which published today. Before turning to fiction, Meg worked as a freelance journalist for a variety of business and consumer magazines, where she often managed to pitch stories involving dogs. Meg received a BA from Providence College and a master's degree in English literature from New York University. She currently resides in the beautiful coastal town of Newburyport, Massachusetts, where her busy household now includes a golden retriever who is a certified therapy dog. Welcome, Meg. And I'm going to hand you off to Lisa, who's going to ask you all the hard-hitting questions.
Yeah, get ready. They're very hard-hitting, Meg. You know, you're not going to know what hit you. Happy pub day, and so happy that you could be here with us and Warwicks, and your book is beautiful. Book List had this to say about 2 Truths and a Lie. This fast-paced, witty beach read has all the elements of a great drama, including a Greek chorus of second-grade moms providing color commentary, perfect for fans of Big Little Lies and Little Fires Everywhere, which that grabs me right away. 2 of my favorite shows and books. What is 2 Truths and a Lie about?
So the one, I kept meaning to look back at that review because they're actually moms of incoming 6th grade girls. And I can't remember if Book List had it wrong or if it was along the way. But anyway, the girls are older. It's not your fault because I've seen it that way somewhere else. And I keep meaning.
I was trying to remember where I saw it, where I pulled it from, but I'm not sure.
Well, I forgot to follow up. Anyway, so it is about a group of mothers of 11-year-old girls who are all entering 6th grade. And this takes place in the town of Newburyport, Massachusetts, which is where I live, which is a beautiful coastal New England, very New Englandy town. And they're a group of moms with these kids, and the kids have grown up together, and the moms have known each other forever. And then a new mother-daughter duo comes to town, and they want to sort of try to get into the group. And they are ostensibly fleeing a bad divorce, but they actually have a dark secret and a past that they're trying to keep private as they're trying to infiltrate what's going on in this town. And then the other main character is a 17-year-old daughter of one of the mothers, and she has her own sort of secret things going on, and all of the stories intersect over the course of the summer. So it's got a lot of, you know, beaches and cocktails and boat rides and that sort of thing, but it also has a lot to do with grief and friendships and sort of how much we know the people that we think we know and how much we let new people in and why and why not.
How do did you think of this idea, and how do you just generally think of book ideas? Is it the same way every time, or different? Because now you're 6 books in, so.
Yeah, it's not the same way, and I don't always know looking back. I don't know if you guys can always pinpoint what it was, but sometimes I can't. So for this book, I knew I wanted the setting. I wanted this Newburyport setting. So I think that came first this time. The setting doesn't always come first. And then I don't remember if I started with a specific character, but I have always been intrigued ever since I had kids. I have 3 teenage daughters myself, with this idea of children's lives and then mothers' lives sometimes intersecting, and how when I was a kid, I don't remember it being that way. My mother's friends weren't necessarily the mothers of my friends. And I don't know if this is just the town where I live or if it's social media, but I've seen a lot of that where there are these sort of intersecting circles where things overlap a little bit too much sometimes, and people might know too much about what other people's children are doing and too much about what the parents are doing. And I think it's just such a fascinating setup for drama. So I think I started with all of that more than with a specific plot idea, and the rest of it came from there.
It's not just your town. I have 2 teenagers also, and it's definitely goes on, I think, everywhere. I mean, it's just, it's fascinating to,
Social media is a lot of it, right?
Yeah.
See what they're doing, and then they can see what we're doing, and I think it's that fascinating thing that we didn't care what our mothers were doing. Not that my kids really care what I'm doing, but if they want to, they can look on Instagram and see who's doing what, or see. It's just so.
It's a whole new normal for sure, and we can keep tabs on them also in a way we never could before, and maybe in a way that's too, I don't know, too helicoptery now, with different ways we can know what they're doing in their lives. And I know they for sure don't want to know what we're doing. It's like not accepting my friend requests on Facebook, I'll tell you that.
That's exactly it. Because I was talking to somebody yesterday for an interview, and I was saying how I'll say to my girls, well, your friend followed me on Instagram, and they're like, what? Don't follow them. Whatever you do, don't follow my friend. So they have these different lines you can cross and not cross, and it's really funny, but it's also fascinating.
When my stepdaughter broke up with her boyfriend, I had been following him on Instagram, and then it was a whole conversation. Do I keep following him? Or if I don't follow him anymore, is that going to cause something with you? I mean, it gets so layered. So I think it's a great idea for for a book, and to have that in a book. I mean, we can all relate to that, I think. Even my 9-year-old too. I mean, same thing. It's just, it's all ages, I think. What is your process for developing your characters?
So my characters usually come to me pretty quickly. I struggle with the plot. So I often have an idea of who they are right away, and I'll start writing, but I don't know what they're doing. And usually I finish the whole first draft and I still don't really know what they're doing, which can be a problem. But I kind of this one girl who's a 17-year-old girl, I kind of just knew her right away. I knew where she worked, and I knew who her friends were, and I just knew her, and she was so much fun to write, but I didn't necessarily know what she was doing in the story. And so for me, that's what takes a long time. The characters, I get a feel for pretty quickly. They just sort of come to me, but the plot doesn't. I wish it did.
So you just kind of had the general idea of what you wanted to write about, but you're saying you didn't really know where it was going to go, how it was going to end, that sort of thing?
I never know how they'll fit together. That's what it is. I guess I knew there was a mother-daughter, and I knew that I had that group of moms, but I didn't really know how they fit, and I didn't know what these newcomers were doing. I just didn't, that's the part I have to figure out. And looking back on all my drafts, it's always been that way. And my last summer's book, The Islanders, I have all of these people living on Block Island, and I had them separately, I had them down, but I didn't know how they fit. And even after the first draft, my editor said, no, these 2 people need to be neighbors, or, they need to know each other well. And I thought, oh yeah, they should be neighbors, but I didn't think of that. She thought of that. So I have an easy time thinking of who they are, but connecting them is harder for me every time.
I don't know. I think the character is the most important part of the story. So if you've got that part down, then I think you're ahead of the game for sure. So I think I know the answer to the next question. Outline or fly by the seat of your pantser.
I've tried the I'm still trying an outline every time I try it, and it just doesn't do anything for me. I have finally learned that I should outline after my first draft. So I'll have a little bit of an idea, or maybe I kind of know where the whole book is going. But when I have a draft, then I'll write what each chapter is and what it's doing, and then I'll see where the holes are, and I'll go from there. I'm in that process now for my next book where I need to re-outline everything and figure out how to fit it all together. So I wish I could start and do it. Do you guys outline?
I sort of, kind of, right, Liz? Like we kind of know, we know where it's beginning and where usually where it's going to end up, although we're open for, a different ending if we feel it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we usually do like chunks of outlining. So, once we get started and know the ending, we'll outline like 4 or 6 chapters at a time. Then we'll write those. We don't like to outline too far out because at least for us, like we might write those 6 chapters and we feel, you're getting to know your characters as you write them. So it might not fit anymore. I had a follow-up question to what you said, that so you write your first draft and then you outline, and I find that really fascinating. So my question to you is this: how much moving around then is going on in that second draft? Like, do you outline it and you're moving full scenes around, or reworking stuff, or what is that? I'm actually just so curious, like for our own process, like what that looks like.
It's a mess. So I finally started using Scrivener. Do you guys use that ever, where you can move the chapters? And I know it does all these, it's a program.
We're just Word document people over here. Very basic.
And the Scrivener, I think there's all kinds of things I don't use that you can do, but the one you do is you can take whole chapters and move them, and the whole thing moves. So that's easier for me. So I'll have a little line of what each chapter is doing, and I'll move them a lot. So now, my editor will say, you're missing these very important things. It's usually a lot. And then I'll have to write those scenes, and then I'll put them in, and I'll move a lot. Yeah, I move a lot. And then even my editor is not afraid to edit. She's wonderful, but she, even to the very bitter end, she's saying, I think you need a new scene here, or this should be over here. So we're changing up until in copy edits even sometimes we'll add a chapter. So it's kind of scary, but so far.
So then how long does it take you before your editor comes in, how long does it take you to write it?
Well,
you're handing it over to her.
I'm starting on a new schedule now where I had a book out last year, this year, hopefully next year and the year after, if all goes as planned. So that's putting me on a tighter schedule, which means I'd like to do 6 months for the first draft and then edit after that and leave enough time. But this time, I guess I spend about 6 months on the first draft, and I'll spend another 2 or 3 months editing it until the fall maybe. And then I'll start again and hope to have that one done by next March or April. So I'm still working on that tighter schedule.
Mm-hmm. I had a question for you about, so your writing process then, is it every day? Are you like carving out time, or you just write when you're feeling it?
It depends on the time of the year, really. I try to write when the kids are in school. I do write pretty much every day, and I usually have a word count. I try to hit 1,000 or 1,200 or 1,500 depending. And then when it's really crunch time, then I'll do more. And then if I can, I'll go away for a few days or a week to try to finish up. So it depends. Right now, I'm not doing much because I should be with it's really confusing, with everybody home all the time. So it depends on the time of year. But yes, for the most part, it's what I do during the work week, during the school day.
All right. Well, so tell us a little bit about this cover. Again, I'm going to show it because I love it. And it just like screams beach read. How much involvement did you have in this cover, and do you have in your covers in general?
This one, actually, and the last one, I'm with a new publisher for my last book and this book. So I have cover approval, but I'm sure this happens to you guys too, where they say, here's the cover that we've spent a really long time coming up with. I really hope you like it. So I could say, no, I hate it at that point, but they've been back and forth so many times. So for this one, I loved it immediately, and it's been the cover the whole time. For the Islanders, I remember it had, which I have, hang on, I have it right here under my computer.
Yeah, that's a great cover.
Yeah.
And originally it still had the figure and it had a very blue background and everybody loved it and I loved it and the publisher loved it. And then the buyer at Barnes and Noble said, no, it looks too Caribbean. We need to look more New England. So then they went back and changed the colors. So that's how that came about. For this book, for Two Truths and a Lie, it's been that way the whole time. So I don't know what went on behind the scenes. I'm sure there were a lot of covers that I didn't see, but this is all they showed me.
Did it begin with you though? Did they ask you, what are you envisioning? Or did they just do it and then you get an email one day?
Yeah, they talked a little bit because I remember we talked about an aerial view of houses or houses with pools, or things like that. So we talked a little bit like that. And then I guess that didn't work. So then that was, I thought would work, but I'm not very visual, so I don't usually know what works anyway. So I don't know if they had a lot of versions, but by the time they showed it to me, they had all signed off and they really hoped very strongly that I liked it.
Yeah. They're like, listen, we spent months on this, like night and day. So you cannot like it, but we really, really hope you like it. No pressure.
Right. Exactly. And with that sort of thing, I figured the marketers and salespeople know the job and I know the writing, so I kind of leave it up to them. How about you all? I love your cover. Did you have say in that?
Thank you.
Yeah, we did. You can take this one, Liz. I've been doing a lot of talking.
We share an agent. You're with Elizabeth. I know you're with the book group, but you were with Elizabeth at the book group, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for those in the audience, we share a literary agent with Meg. And so we were there over the summer and we sat down with her. We had just turned into the publisher and we knew we wanted to get to them early. We had some issues with the two Lila Bennett's deciding on a cover, and the cover was pretty late, actually. That's a whole nother Oprah, but because of it, so we wanted to get an early start, and we knew that the Ferris wheel or something of a carnival plays a big role in the book, that needed to be part of the cover. But I think because we had so many problems with the Lila Bennett cover, I mean, they sent us 3 amazing covers to choose from, and we did not make one change to this one. We were like, nope, that's, more to the story than that, but I mean, they sent us 3 covers. I think I would have been happy with all 3.
Oh, good.
And, yeah. So
I think it's
we definitely. Yeah. Thank you. I love yours too. So, you guys, I know there's a couple questions in there. They correspond to a question Lisa's going to ask. So I'm waiting to get to them.
Oh, okay. So, is it about my next one? The title?
It's about question 7. So when you get
question 7's good. Okay, I like question 7, but let me just ask you real quick about the title. Because again, I'm curious. I think readers are always curious. Was this always the title? Did the title change? And how did the title come to be?
I love finding that out. This title, my friend Jennifer is the one who came up with this title, and I had turned in a draft without a title. This was about almost exactly a year ago, and I was in New York for an event for the Islanders, and my friend Jennifer was there too. And we were talking to my editor, and I hope I'm not getting this wrong, but I think we started brainstorming ideas then too. Brainstorming ideas about that, and we were talking about another book title that had a game in it, and we were talking about a game, and Jennifer, I don't know if it happened right then or if it happened later, I don't think she's here, she could tell me, she came up with that eventually about the game. And so I didn't have, it wasn't like I had a lot of people playing Two Truths and a Lie in the book, but I loved the title so much and the editor loved the title, so we kind of went back and had put the game in the book a little bit where people were playing it. So that's where it came from. So this book had I had no title at all. I didn't even submit
no working title. Just like,
yeah.
What do you save the document as? Just book,
title.
Book 6, book
next
6,
book,
next
yeah.
book. Yeah, I like it. Kind of like it. The next book that we're working on, I don't know if the title will stick, but we always just put something down and then see if it'll go. Okay, question 7 now with all the build up. Okay. You're probably like, what is question 7? No, it's really just about the you wrote the book. It takes place in the town where you live. And I had a couple parts to this question. Can readers expect to find local haunts written about? But also, you've said you're a little nervous about how the town's going to respond to it because it's a small town. So If you can kind of answer all that together.
Yeah, nobody really has read it except my husband in the town yet. So we'll see. A few of them have bought it or are buying it tomorrow. So I'll report back next week.
All right.
Really not based on anybody in the town, but if people are, maybe people will point out similarities. So I did not base any character on anybody I know. But there are, groups of moms, and I know groups of moms. So, who knows if people
they're going to think, that people think it's them when it's not them. So.
Exactly.
But the people who it's actually about, not that we ever write about anybody, but they never know it's them. The people that you're actually putting, they're always like, have no idea, which maybe is why they're a character in a book. I don't know.
That's true. So it will be interesting to see. We'll see what happens. As for the locations, they're all real. I don't think I made up anything. So every ice cream shop and restaurant and house and street, it all exists. So that was really fun and also easy because I know the town really well. So I didn't have to do any research. I could just, pick out of my brain what I wanted to write about. And this town is a really fun summer town. It's a New England town where we have a long cold winter, and then in summer it really comes alive in an exciting, I think it's a really fun place to be. So that was really fun to write about. And all the locations are real.
Was it your Instagram today where you were showing some of the real places? Was that, so if readers want to check that out, they can go to your Instagram, right?
I'll save them somewhere on my Facebook or something so people can see.
Yeah, I think that's so cool when you can see the actual places.
I have a bunch more I haven't posted yet. There's an ice cream place called the Cottage Creamery that one of my characters works at, and they're famous for this concoction called the Ringer, which is a milkshake topped by a donut, which I've never actually ordered one. Daughters have, and so I have a lot of people ordering Ringers in the book because it is a strange thing that anybody would eat that. But today we went to go get one so I could photograph it, and they were out of donuts, so we couldn't get one.
Oh no!
Well, you'll have to get that. I want to see that now. Yeah. Now that you've talked about it, you're gonna have to get back there early before they sell out tomorrow.
Yeah, you need to get up earlier. Okay, so I've got a couple questions over here. So first, Sharon is saying another great book cover, which I totally agree, Sharon. So there's two questions. The first is from Meredith. She's asking, what other New England towns would you like to highlight in future books?
Well, my next book actually is already mostly draft one is written, and that takes place in Rockland and Owl's Head, Maine. So that's a beautiful area that my friend Margaret, who I think is with us tonight. Hi, Margaret. Her family has a summer home in Owl's Head that I've been going to visit her in forever. So this book is actually set basically in her house. So I love this house. So that area of Mid-Coast Maine will be the next setting. And after that, I don't know. I'm open to suggestions. So if anybody has any, let me know. I'm starting to run out. I'm running out of New England states.
If Margaret, I've got to chime in here. If Margaret's sitting with the background that I'm looking at, holy cow, that's beautiful.
Wow. Yeah, Margaret. Yeah, that's
Margaret.
Hi, Margaret. Yep,
she needs to say something, though, so everyone can see it, right?
Okay, hold on.
Unmute her.
I'm unmuting her. Okay, now you got to click something on your end, Margaret. There you go.
All right. This is the fantastic view that I'm happy to share with the world.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, steps leading down to the water. This is all in the book, you guys. So next summer, when you read the book, you'll recognize it from Margaret.
So you went to the house and you were writing this book from the house?
I'm writing it mostly from memory now, but watch out, Margaret.
Okay.
Because I have.
That's awesome.
Give excuse to go back. Okay, Margaret, I'm putting you back on mute. But you already muted yourself. You're thank you.
She's on top of it.
Wow, Margaret is like multifaceted, like giving you a house to write about. Muting
on the
herself.
spot. It wasn't even planned.
I know. She's like turning it around. We do the same thing. I mean, we write basically about Southern California, and we're slowly running out of unless we concentrate on certain towns within, just because it's fun and it's nice to, it's like a love letter. I mean, depending what the story is about, but How to Save a Life to us is kind of like a love letter to San Diego. A lot of the book takes place in downtown. So I'm totally feeling you. Now, you've got another question here. Susan saying she's not a New Englander, but she wants to know, how would you characterize New England and what is its importance as place or setting?
Oh my goodness. Wow, that's a big question. Well, New England in the summer and winter are very different, but I'll go with the summer New England since it's a summer book. It's funny. There's a saying in Maine about how, I forgot it exactly, but you wait through winter. If you can't stand winter, you don't deserve summer, I think. Is that right, Margaret? It's something like that. So I think in New England, it's so different from a place like California where it's beautiful all the time, where you really do kind of suffer through a lot of the year. And then you get to summer and it's such a treat, and people have been holed up all year, and then in the summer they come out, and it's a very different world. Whereas we lived for a year in California, it was Northern California, but that was so different because everything felt the same all year round, and it was wonderful, but you didn't get that sort of release. So that's one thing I love about New England. And then the other thing I think is that people are a little harder to get to know in New England, but typically not in my book, but in real life. But once you get to know them, they're very loyal and they're friends for life. Whereas in other parts of the country, it might be easier to jump right in. And it's not always easy to jump into New England. You sort of have to earn your place. And I think that's a very interesting and unique part of living here.
Sharon is saying, here in Minnesota, we really appreciate our summer. So I know exactly what you mean.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you wait a long time for it, so you're not going to waste it when it comes.
I can relate. I was Southern California, and then when I married my husband, I moved to Chicago and was there with him for 10 years. And I really came to appreciate the glimpse. There it's like glimpses, though. It's not like a steady summer. It's like you've got like a day here and a day there and maybe a month here, but you come to crave those. You also moved to Northern California, right? And then you returned.
Yeah, we were only there for 1 year. Almost exactly 1 year. So we moved for my husband's job, my kids. We've been back now for 7 years, I think. So it was a while ago, pretty young, and it was nice. California is lovely in a lot of ways. I actually like Southern California better than I like Northern California, but we decided it wasn't where we wanted to be forever, so it made more sense to just move right back before the kids got really entrenched.
Right.
So, back here.
And you got a book out of that too, right? Didn't you set a book? So that's good.
Yeah, I set the admissions there. So that was actually, yes, that's what I got out of the move. It was a lot of work, but I did.
That was a great book.
Thank you.
Do you have another key?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
I could tell by the look on your face.
When I do this, it means I have a question. Okay, Holly is asking, because you've written so many books and are inspired by location, do you have any pressure to apply similar themes or angles to your books so they go together?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that now, or for my next few books, I am expected to write summer books in summer settings. So that's okay with me. I don't know if that's what I'll do forever, but that's definitely what my publisher wants from me right now. And that's where my marketing is set, and that's where my audience is. And so I feel a little bit like that's what I mean, not a little bit. I do feel like that's what I need to do for these next few books, but I don't find that restrictive, because I think within that sort of setting, I can do what I want. And I think it sort of gives me a way to tell the story, but I could tell any kind of story. So it's sort of a yes and no question. I think if I came back with I tried to write my next book. I thought, I'm going to write a thriller. I mean, I actually was going to set a thriller at this house in Maine. There was going to be a murder right behind Margaret. And so I did. I wrote the first 2 chapters of that, and Elizabeth loved it. She was so excited, and we showed it to my editor. My editor said, no, thank you. This is not what I want. Everything about the murder. I would like the house, and I like the setting, and I like the family, but I don't.
Just take the murder out.
She didn't want it to be sinister. So yeah, they are looking for a certain type of book from me, and I'm okay with that. I don't know if that's what I'll do forever, but I am lucky that I have a place. So I see their point. You know, it's a strange business, so to be able to keep publishing, I feel lucky.
We hear you.
Your Two Truths and a Lie does have a bit of a thriller aspect to it, though, right? I saw it described as a propulsive thriller and a gorgeous beach read kind of meet each other.
It does have a little bit of that. It's not full on thriller. So I think maybe I thought, I've segued in, now I can go thriller, and no, that wasn't. wasn't the case. But yeah, it has a little bit of that thriller feel, a little bit of suspense more than thriller, I'd say. A little bit, yeah.
Oh, she doesn't have the look. Okay, I'm moving forward.
And
So yours is, we've talked about how yours is a summer book. Do you have other summer books that you'd recommend to everyone here today?
Well, I always, Ellen Hildebrand's summer book came out today also, and I will buy that tomorrow. I didn't get out today to do it, but I will absolutely buy that. That's always my first summer read. And I just
28 Summers?
28 Summers it's called, yes. And I just read this fabulous book called Beach Read.
I love that book.
Who hasn't read that book? Who hasn't? It's so good.
So I just finished
so good
with Ellen Hildebrand and Emily actually just last week, and that was fabulous. So that's on my list for sure. And for other, I can't remember what else I'm going to read. I'm going to read next. I'm going to read The Vanishing Half, which I've heard, which I know isn't a summer book, but I've heard so many good things about that. Has anybody read that?
I'm waiting for it to arrive.
We had her on couch surfing a couple weeks ago, and she is lovely. Yeah, she's from this area. Hey, Julie, can I put you on the spot and have you put links for Beach Read and 28 Summers in the chat if anybody wants to buy it?
Absolutely. I'll put Vanishing Half in there too.
Oh, yes, thank you. Yeah, she's really, we love talking to her. That was actually a really fun chat. She had some of her old high school teachers here in the room, and we took them off mute, and she's lovely.
Oh, I can't. I'll have to. Is that recorded somewhere where I can go watch it?
Yeah, it's on the Warwick's page, or I can, if you don't find it, I can email it to you.
Okay, I'll have to watch that. Yeah, I can't wait to read that book. I've heard nothing but huge raves from everybody who's read that. So that's next for me.
Yeah, I'm excited to read that one.
It's on the Warwick's Facebook page.
Okay, great.
Awesome. Okay, I got to talk to you about dogs. We love dogs over here. And you've got a therapy dog. Can you just tell us a little bit about her?
She's upstairs, but she finally got groomed after all these months of quarantine golden retriever hair. And she looks fabulous, but she's not down here right now. I'm in the basement. Yeah, she's a 3.5-year-old golden retriever. Her name is Olive, and she just came out with a very mellow personality. So when she was about, I guess, 6 months or so, I trained her or maybe it was a year, maybe she was a year and a half. I can't remember. We went to training to be a dog therapy team, and we go to schools, and that's mostly all we do. You can do a lot of different things with therapy dogs, but we have a few different schools that we visit regularly, and we visit the kids, and some of them are kids who need help reading, and some of them are kids who have Asperger's or autism and just like the experience, and some of them are just kids who are stressed out by exams and want to pet a dog. So we do a variety of things like that, but it's been fabulous. It's really, it gets me out of the house because, as you know, as a writer, you're sitting in your house a lot of the time. So it gives me a reason to go somewhere, and it gives her a reason to go somewhere with me. So it's fun.
She's all over Meg's Instagram if you guys want to see her. She's super cute.
Yes, the human dog never let me photograph them, so I have to photograph them.
Yeah, my dog's laying on the floor right now. She thinks she's like part of it, and she likes to come in every time we do these. So my last question is, you mentioned you're working on another book. Can you give any details?
Yes. So in Margaret's house, there's a it takes place in this house in Maine, and it's about 3 generations of a family that are there for the summer. So there's the children. I always have children in my books. There's the children, and then there's the 40-ish couple, and then there's the parents of the parents who own the house, and there's a secret that comes out during the course of the summer, and they're all sort of dealing with the repercussions of that.
Sounds good. Secrets in Maine.
No murders, though. No murders.
I'm there.
No murders. No murders. That's so funny. We've talked about all the amazing things you have on social media. Meg, can you tell us where we can find you?
Yes, mostly on Instagram. I'm terrible. I'm on Twitter, but I'm not good at doing anything. So on Instagram, I guess I'm Meg Mitchell Moore. I think I'm Meg Mitchell Moore on Instagram. I'm pretty sure. And then
I see someone nodding.
Right? I have a Facebook author page as well, which is mostly the same things I put on Instagram. And I guess that's just also Meg Mitchell Moore, or Meg Mitchell Moore author on Facebook. I'll look all that up.
Well, is it on your website? I think you can link to it from your website, right?
Yes, which is megmitchellmoore.com. Yes, that
Oh,
one.
you know that one. Good. See, you know my book. That's fine. Sharon has a comment. She says, back to the dog. She had written this. That's great. Before all this started, my aunt went to nursing homes and retirement homes with her dog to cheer people up.
Yeah, it's huge. We did a little bit of that early on. We don't have time to do too many different things, so we have to stick with the schools. But it's amazing what the dogs can do. We would go to a nursing home long ago with a man who was suffering from Alzheimer's, and he would just pet Olive, and then I think he spoke to her, and the family said it was the first time he'd spoken in months.
Wow.
Wow.
It's incredibly rewarding for people who have the time and a dog with the right temperament. It's really, I just love it.
That's amazing. It was so fun to talk to you today. Gosh, I can't wait to see your book soar. For everybody, now you know where to find Meg. If you want to find Lisa and I, we're at Lisa and Liz at Instagram, or Liz Fenton and Lisa Steinke on Facebook, or lizandlisa.com. We have links everywhere. We have these, if you missed one of these, we have most of them up at our YouTube channel or the Warwick's Facebook page, right, Julie?
Facebook page, yes.
Yes, Julie, give us a little more Warwick's love on your end.
Well, first of all, Meg, when your book is out next year, we're going to do this couch surfing tour in Margaret's backyard. So Margaret, just be ready for us, okay? I think we're going to all go over there. Anyway, so you can, again, we so appreciate everybody coming into the room with us and supporting authors that have books that are releasing during these really hard times with, shutdown and everything. We so appreciate book sales coming through to us. However you think about buying a book, please think about buying it from Warwick's, warwicks.com. Call us, come to the store, online. So I put all the links in. You guys mentioned Ellen Hildebrand. She's actually going to be at the store next Friday signing books. So if you're an Ellen Hildebrand fan or you know of one, send them to that link. So anyways, Meg, it was wonderful hosting you. And Liz and Lisa, as always, you guys are fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I wanted to remind everybody, Thursday, we have a double feature again. And they're both pretty sassy. So I think it'll be an interesting event. We've got Susie Schnall at 4 o'clock, and then we have Kimberly Bell at 5. So that's
it's gonna be a fun night.
Yeah, we know them both really well too, and they are a lot of fun, just like Meg. But Meg, thank you so much for being with us, and I hope you get that donut ice cream tomorrow. I'm gonna be crossing, because I'm gonna be like trolling your Instagram, like looking for it. But anyway, thank you for being with us, and like Julie said, thank you everybody, for showing up every week. It's so fun to see all your comments and questions, and we're so appreciative. So we'll see you guys on Thursday.
Bye.
Bye.